Okay, I got a question. Am I wrong? There's a content creator on this app who I have a lot of respect for, but there was something that she posted recently that I just wonder, am I wrong? Here's the video that I'm talking about.
In a parent-child relationship, how do you know who is the abuser and who is the victim?
And she goes on in this video about how there are a lot of parents out there who are posting on this app who are really in the wrong when it comes to their estranged adult children. And I strongly identified with the estranged adult children community. Because if you don't know anything about me, my mother is diagnosed borderline. She also has strong narcissistic traits. I have a codependent father. I have a narcissistic brother. I have a really toxic family dynamic. So I know what it's like to have to go no contact with really toxic families, particularly with parental units. And so she talks about, how fired mom is out there and that we should all block her. I agree with that. I would also add on there, I think we should all block Fabulous 50s as well. With that being said, given that I am often sharing my stories of my toxic family dynamic and my toxic parents, I often get questions from parents asking about, well, what about if my child is the toxic one? And my gut reaction, my knee-jerk reaction is similar to this content creator that I just posted. And what she says in this video is,
How do you know in the parent-child relationship who is the abuser and who is the victim? Abuse requires a power dynamic. The parent has all of the power in the situation. A child cannot abuse their parent. And when we look at situations of going no contact, adult children are choosing to remove themselves from the situation. Abusers want continued access to their victim. So think about that dynamic a little bit, and I think it'll be very apparent to you who is the abuser and who is the victim.
so she's saying that the child cannot abuse the parent. But are we talking about actual children or are we talking about adult children? And the reason that I ask that, and I really want to know if I'm in the wrong here, is that when you have toxic parents, like I have, they usually produce one of two results. They usually produce either a people pleaser, which I basically turned into, or they produce other toxic individuals, other narcissists, like my brother is. My brother is incredibly toxic to myself, my other siblings, and to my parental unit. But my narcissistic brother also abuses my father. My father, who is codependent, and probably his standoffedness and his absentness as a father and all kinds of other things are abuse in themselves. But certainly he is being abused by my narcissistic brother. My brother uses the fact that he is the only child at this point that has offspring. So basically he uses, from my parents' perspective, the grandchildren against them. And he uses them also against myself. Whenever you are out of line with him at all, he will cut off access to his children. So I have been cut off not only from my brother at this point, but from my nephews and my niece as well. So even though they are technically a child to the parents in that situation, they will use whatever power that they have to inflict as much damage as possible and to control others in the situation. I think this also comes out if you are currently married to somebody who is a narcissist and you are not a narcissist and you're raising children with them, they will eventually grow up and there is a chance, a strong chance, that one of your children might turn into a narcissist. So while I would say probably 9 times out of 10, if a parent is being cut off by the child, it is likely the parent's fault. There is a chance, it is a small chance, that it could be the child that is toxic. I don't think it's impossible that a child could be the one that is abusing their parent. But tell me, am I wrong? I am certainly aware that my perception is skewed by being raised by very toxic parents. So I want to know, am I wrong?